The Knicks will conclude NBA Rivals Week with a matchup against their crosstown rivals, the Nets. The New York has won 2 straight games heading into this matchup. And joining me to talk some Knicks hoops is New York Post sports reporter Zach Braziller. Zach, how's it going, man?
Good. Knicks are this wacky season of seesawing back and forth. The Knicks now are back on the upswing a little bit here with back-to-back great wins over the Cavs and the Celtics in Boston. And it's a hard team to figure out here
Yeah.
where they lose 3 of 4 or lose 4 straight, and 3 of those are the teams with losing records. And you think, oh man, they're kind of in for a tough stretch here as the schedule heats up, and then they find a way to edge the Cavs at home, and they're down 15 early. The Celtics come back and beat them in Boston, which was clearly the best win of the year. And it's a team that's got a lot of mental toughness and kind of is really surprised people with how they've responded to adversity.
Yeah, and you talked about them responding to adversity in those 2 wins. So I'm taking it that you're impressed with these recent victories. So how do you think it can spark the team going forward here?
Look, beating good teams is always a confidence builder. There's no question about it. You beat the best team in the NBA on its home floor without your best defensive player, Mitchell Robinson. It does a lot for just the team's belief in itself. I mean, all year though we've talked to Tibbs and the players have always talked. It's boring, but I've always said, we're not. It's just the next game. That's all that we could focus on, and they've really done that this year. I mean, they've obviously had a ton of streaks, winning 8 in a row, losing 5 in a row, winning 4 in a row, losing 4 in a row. It's kind of been back and forth here, and the schedule is really tough, and they've gotten off to a really nice start here with these 2 wins against this very difficult schedule. Look, it's clear when the Knicks are at their best, they can play with anybody. We've seen it all year, and it's going to be interesting. The Nets are, they're losing more than they're winning without KD, but they're playing well. They've had a pretty tough schedule as well. I thought they played really well against the Sixers without Durant. So to me, it's a really fascinating game tonight. 2 teams that are, kind of the middle of the pack in the Eastern Conference in that 4 to 6 range, and both without key players.
Yeah, both without key players in this matchup, and we'll see how that one plays out. I want to talk about key player for the Knicks. That's Julius Randle. He continues to ball out, Zach. We saw another strong performance in Boston on Thursday night. Do you think he lands an all-star spot this year?
For a while I've been saying I think Brunson is the Knicks all-star, but with the way Randle is playing, I think it's kind of a toss-up between either guy. I still don't think the Knicks are going to get 2. I don't. But I think it is a toss-up. Look, Randle was absolutely fantastic against Boston. They're down 25-10. He plays great to get them back in it. Overtime, they look sunk down 5. He hits that huge 3, and then makes the pass that eventually goes to Barrett for the 3. He hits 2 big free throws. Like, you can make the argument he's played better than he did 2 years ago. He's not shooting the 3 quite as well, but I feel like he's doing other things well. His rebounding has been absolutely through the roof. Right now, if I had to guess, I still give Brunson the slight nod for the Knicks All-Star. But I think I wouldn't be surprised if Randle gets it. He deserves it, honestly.
He's had a very good year for the Knickerbockers. And the Knicks, they seem to get up for matchups against upper echelon opponents. We just talked about the Cavs and the Celtics. The Nets, they're currently ahead of them in the standings, sitting at 4th in the East. Do you see the Knickerbockers getting up for this one? And what would it mean if they can make it 3 straight wins over top 5 teams in the conference?
Yeah, I expect the Knicks to play well tonight. The last time in Brooklyn, they got embarrassed. There was talk, after the game, Brunson said their effort wasn't good enough. Now, look, that was early in the year. But, yeah, I think the Knicks are going to be amped up to play this game tonight. They're going to have a lot of confidence coming off that great win over Boston. And I do think the Knicks play well. I'm not saying I don't know if they'll win. I think it'll be a close game. I think it'll be a good game. It'll be fun. Looking forward to, Grimes on Kyrie. Looking forward to, Randle and Brunson out there tonight. I think the Knicks will play much better than they did in that first game in Brooklyn. And look, another win over a good team is only adding confidence. I do think at this point, though, in the season, 50 games in, I think the Knicks believe they belong. The Knicks, there's belief there that we're going to lose a few games. It's not going to change who we are. I think the Knicks know they're a quality team. Look, they're not a title contender, but they're also not a bad team. To me, they're definitely around 10 to 12 best team in the NBA. And when you consider what this franchise has been for 2 decades, that's a step forward. And I think that's something fans should be happy about, as we kind of inch towards the trade deadline.
Yeah, definitely should be excited about that. We'll see what happens with the Knicks and Nets on Saturday. Battle for New York, round 2 this season. Zach Braziller, he will be there to see the game. Zach, always good to talk some Knicks hoops with you. We will talk soon.
All right, man. Have a good one. Thanks.